you can't tell me that you got brown skin from a different group of people. Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another vid. Today's topic is gonna be something that's like pretty close to home for me. So I'm probably gonna get a little passionate, so you might want to turn your volume down some. I just want to address this mainstream issue known as blackfishing. But before we jump into that, let's talk about this wig that I'm wearing here. I bought this hair from AliExpress from DejaVu official hair store, which I can drop a link for you. However, this hair was pretty cheap. I'm wearing 3 bundles of 22 inches and I have a 20-inch frontal closure. And although I really like the curl pattern, the closure is a little less, it's a lot more straightened out than the bundles. So I'm kind of having trouble blending the hair all together because I had to straighten the roots to keep my part flat, and from there it kind of just stayed straight even after adding some water and putting a braid in it. It's still pretty straight. So it's not my favorite hair, but it was cheap and I like this look. It's kind of like a quick wet and wavy on the go wig. But yeah, overall it's good for the price. So let's jump into this racist bullshit that is plaguing social media platforms right now. Basically, if you don't already know, blackfishing is a term that describes when a non-black person steals, culturally appropriates aspects of black culture as a way to get clout or make money. A lot of social media influencers are doing this now. It's a lot of natural white girls who have pale skin and straight hair who are posting pictures and videos of them on the internet with super curly hair and dark tan skin. And it's not that tanning is the issue, but it's the level of tanning in which these influencers are going to that's become problematic, to the point where they're like basically wearing blackface. There are many examples of this. I won't share any of the random Instagram girl names because why make them more relevant than they need to be? But I do want to jump into some of the mainstream celebrities who have been participating in blackfishing that people aren't talking about. Kim Kardashian, for example. Every time Kim Kardashian buys a new Little Mix baby, her skin color darkens 2 shades. No shade at her surrogate. I'm just saying, like, we know that she stopped having babies, so I'm just going with facts here. I think it's really interesting that right when Black Girl Magic campaign kind of like hit the internet's surface and Black women started really embracing their natural characteristics and complimenting others and embracing others for having them as well, I feel like white women started getting way more perms, tanning way harder, getting more BLL butt shots and lip shots, and I feel like it correlates almost directly to when Black Girl Magic became a thing. Like, it's almost as if white women became so threatened by Black women embracing their natural beauty that they had to quickly jump on those trends in order to feel included as well. But it's like, as a group, we have been marginalized for centuries. And that's not even discussing only beauty standards. Like, if we talk specifically about hair and makeup and just beauty overall within the Black community, African American women have lost their jobs, have been rejected from jobs. They have had a harder time in the dating world just due to the fact that we have naturally coarse curly hair and big noses and big hips, and forever Eurocentric white beauty standards were at the top of what the world found beautiful. So it's hard for, obviously it's going to cause a lot of resentment within the community of women of color who have been marginalized for decades for these natural traits that we carry. Like, obviously, a whole group of people who've been marginalized for having very specific traits are going to be resentful towards the dominant group that then takes those traits and makes them trendy and gets praise for them. And now money, because all these influencers are literally pretending to be women of color in order to get endorsements that Black girls could have. Now let's jump into Ariana Grande. So, a little disclaimer. I'm not a major Ariana Grande fan, but I can respect her. She has a great voice, and like every 6 months, she comes up with a bop that I bang to. But I've never really been like a diehard fan. When Ariana Grande was on Nickelodeon, she was about the color of my Calvin Klein bralette. She was pale, she had her bright red burgundy hair, and she was just like this nice little Latina girl who embraced her Spanish culture. Whereas now I feel Ariana Grande has really urbanized herself, skin tone and all. And now it's come to the point where even within her music and art that she creates, she's literally stealing little tidbits of Black culture and incorporating them into her music from Black artists. I'm sure you guys have all heard Seven Rings, her new song, and I don't know if you know this, but it sounds a lot like Princess Nokia's song Mine, where she's talking about where she's pointing out weaves that she's seeing, or she's talking about weaves and hair weaves, or weaves and wigs being worn by Black women. And to touch on that, I find it really interesting how Ariana Grande has this one line that's something along the lines of like, "You like my hair, thanks, just bought it." And you know, I know lots of women, lots of people of all types wear hair extensions and wigs and weaves, but we can say that Black women got a lot of shit for wearing them for all this time. I know growing up around all white people, anytime I came to school with a new wig or weave, it was like, whoa, like your hair grew so fast. And I'm like, actually, it's a weave, like I bought it. And they're like, you're wearing someone else's hair? That's so weird. And it was just like super taboo. It was just super taboo and unaccepted overall. And you know, I just kind of went with it because I fuck with my weaves and I wasn't about to let some little white girl stop me from wearing them. But it's really interesting now how Ariana Grande puts out a lyric like that, and I also see lots of advertising for white women to buy wigs. And it's funny because just 5 years ago, white girls and light-skinned girls were the same ones like sharing memes that were like, oh, like, I'm all natural, I don't need a weave, da 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 da. But it's like, it's not about needing a weave. There's this stigma that Black women can't, stigma around Black hair, and this idea, this misconception that Black women can't grow hair and we wear wigs and weaves because we need them. But in reality, it's just because we like to switch shit up. And there are some people who do need wigs or weaves because of whatever medical issues they may have, or maybe they're just insecure about their hair. They shouldn't be marginalized or villainized for wanting to get some extensions. Like, I always said that it's not that I can't grow hair, it's just I don't want to damage my hair, and that's why I wear weaves. But now it's become so mainstream that all these non-Black women are embracing other forms of hair extensions. And I know I sound like a salty ass bitch, like I am happy about this, but it's just frustrating that I'm always getting the short end of the stick as a Black woman. And obviously my experience growing up in Vermont surrounded by white people is where like a lot of my resentment has built up. So extend some empathy to that. I just feel like if people are going to take from another culture, embrace that culture. I'm not upset that white women want to wear weaves or wigs or people are embracing having fake hair, even though I went through a period where I was villainized for having fake hair. But really what it's about is acknowledging the history of trends and the trends you follow and how they've developed and how they've maybe put down a certain in-group or out-group, and then decide what you want to participate in, you know? But overall, I think blackfishing is pretty interesting because a lot of these influencers who have been called out for it are completely denying that they're culturally appropriating, but it's like we have literal receipts that you are stealing from the Black community just by the fact that you are now Black. Like, you can't tell me that you got brown skin from a different group of people. Tell me where you got that. Tell me where you got that idea from. I'm listening. Oh, exactly. So yeah, you know, people can blackfish all they want, but ultimately I think it just makes them look stupid as hell. Everyone wants to embrace Black traits, but doesn't want to embrace where they came from. White people have consistently commercialized on things that Black people have created or what we naturally are, and we continuously get shortened at the end of the deal. It frustrates me mainly because I feel that the same people who are overtanning their skin and getting perms are the same people who are quiet when a topic about Black oppression is being discussed. Like, wear cornrows, bitch, if you're the same person out there screaming Black Lives Matter, fighting for Black rights, and, you know, really putting yourself out there to fight for justice in the Black community. Wear all the cornrows you want. Tan your skin as much as you'd like, honestly. Because I feel like if you can't embrace where you're stealing these trends from, then you're part of the problem. People always want to steal our rhythm, but they don't want to face our blues. But yeah, on that note, it's dinner time and I need to eat. Talk to y'all later. Stay tuned for what's coming.